Hello, my name is Alston Pinto. This assignment backs the detailed notes on external strategic environment of the hotel industry of Sri Lanka. Derived from the Latin word, hosps, meaning both visitor and stranger, hospitality has its roots in ancient history. Since then, the sector has shown an unbroken run of growth, and the very concept of hospitality can be applied to nearly any company that deals with customer satisfaction, and is focused on catering to meeting leisure needs of travelers rather than basic ones. The highly diversified landscapes and natural attractions in Sri Lanka have been welcoming a growing number of visitors to the country. The total tourist arrivals to Sri Lanka in 2018 amounted to more than 2.3 million, which welcomed 2.17 million in 2017. The revenue generated through travel and the tourism sector remained a high contributor to the national economy, with a contribution of 5.1% towards GDP for 2 consecutive years 2017 and 2016. This pipeline targeted the luxury segment of the hotel market, and aimed to add around 2,000 rooms to the supply and less focused on budget and mid-scale segment with around 600 rooms that are going to be added to the supply. The country recorded average daily revenue of 20,500 rupees in 2018 and 12,300 rupees of revenue per available room. Sri Lanka recorded around 60% of the occupancy rate for the same year, but due to the Easter terror attacks in April 2019, all the key indicators recorded fewer figures when compared to 2018. Along with the overall economy, the global hospitality industry has enjoyed a spurt of massive growth over the last decade since the end of the financial crisis. According to the World Bank, the global economy has grown at a pace of more than 3% per year during this period. This unprecedented expansion has benefited the hospitality and tourism industry by stimulating the world population's travel activity, adding countless room nights in both leisure and business travel. COVID-19 has had a severe impact, and international tourist arrivals plunged 93% in June 2020 when compared to 2019, and 65% during the first half of 2020. This represents an unprecedented decrease as countries around the world close their borders and introduce travel restrictions in response to COVID-19. All in all, 2020 is recognized as the worst year in tourism history with 1 billion fewer international arrivals and US $1.1 trillion in international tourism receipts. Around 74% drop according to the latest data from World Tourism Organization, a level of 30 years ago. World Tourism Organization's extended scenarios for 2021 to 2024 point to a rebound in international tourism by the second half of 2021. Major technology firms such as Google or Facebook threatening to replace hotel brands by offering technological solutions and creating novel markets to attract new types of customers. Companies that fail to identify their niche are at risk of becoming mere revenue generators for technology companies. Some big enough brands may survive, but their business will get tougher. As the accommodation and restaurant industry is creating jobs at the fastest rate of any sector in the economy according to the International Labor Organization, fueling this growth with the right skilled labor is yet another concern for owners. Attracting and retaining younger generations of hospitality professionals will require a lot of flexibility and attention from hoteliers in the future. Number 7, 8, and 9 shows key drivers and trends. The booming global economy continues to create a positive momentum in the sector by contributing to the overall income. Since 2009, this number has constantly increased at an average pace of almost 2% per annum, leading to a growing demand for both international and domestic travel spending. Corporate travel is yet another contributor to the healthy outlook, and is projected to keep growing. In China and India, the growth of business travel is particularly steep due to the relentless pace of economic expansion in this part of the world. Demand is evolving more than ever with a clear change in behaviors and preferences. More domestic travels, more familiar, trustworthy and predictable. Outside activities are the main choice, and hospitality industry is already embracing this. 92% of consumers trust word-of-mouth recommendations from family and friends. In 2020, 58% of travelers were planning to take domestic trips. As an industry that depends on a stable environment, in order to successfully operate, societal and environmental changes are having a greater impact on hospitality businesses compared to other industries. In a crowded field of competitors, hotels must find ways to distinguish themselves and position their property as distinctive destinations for customers, to develop preferences and loyalty in order to drive direct bookings. To do so, hotels must offer more highly personalized experiences that anticipate and go beyond the needs of their target customers, and count on word of mouth and allegiance to not only retain their customer base, but also grow it with more potential customers. A generational shift towards how travelers are consuming hospitality services is making hotels evolve from being mere suppliers of accommodation to experience providers, leading to a need for outstanding customer relationship across all stages of their guests' customer journeys. The consequences of measures taken worldwide to curb the pandemic are having a growing impact on the global economy. The impact being felt by the hospitality industry is massive due to factors including the migratory nature of the hospitality workforce, and the pause on global travel, tourism and restaurant services. Does the leisure and tourism workforce need to be rescued? Furthermore, business recovery is expected to be slow. The World Tourism Organization has estimated a 20% to 30% global decline in international tourist arrivals. How hoteliers navigate the crisis. This epidemic has introduced many variables that are currently fogging up the prospects of the hospitality industry. Due to the uncertainty of the changes in customer needs after the epidemic, hotels need to review their existing service offerings so as to adapt to the changes in customer experience, customer perceptions, shifting consumption patterns, quality asset management. In the human side, there is two strategies for hoteliers: retention or downsizing, with their pros and cons. Is also the time to stabilize your employees, develop and implement your reopening plan to come out of these challenging times stronger than before. With COVID-19, housekeeping has become more critical than ever. Those teams put their health in danger to look after the remaining staff and guests. Hotels and restaurants are asked to put in place many sanitary adjustments that increase the cost function of the supplier. With decreasing infection rates and a slight recovery from the pandemic, many hotel and restaurant owners are raising the question on how to prepare for the post-COVID-19 world of hospitality. COVID-19 took the world by surprise, and has had a drastic effect on not only the way business is done, but also on how to survive. Many hospitality professionals have been left to assess the impact that COVID-19 has had on their business, as well as what protocols will need to be implemented in the future. Travel will tentatively restart. What travelers think about their future travel, and how hospitality industry players are responding to these trends. As a result of the coronavirus, COVID-19, pandemic, travel behavior all across the globe changed, particularly in terms of the level of comfort when staying in hotels. Comparatively, 9% of respondents were in favor of temporarily suspending some hotel services such as spas, casinos, and restaurants. Many challenges await for the hospitality industry, and the future may appear uncertain. However, this can and will turn into opportunities for an industry that has demonstrated along the years to be extremely resilient, strong, and adaptive. With the impact of climate change becoming more and more apparent all over the globe, societal pressure on providers in all industries is mounting. First steps are being taken, for instance, in the fight against single-use plastic products that are part of the roughly 300 million tons of plastic produced each year. Many major corporations and businesses are opting to ditch single-use plastics from their day-to-day operations, and the hospitality space is no different. Hotels and airlines find themselves with a unique opportunity to really impact the effects of global plastic consumption, as they often provide disposable products at mass scales. Many critics say that the practice of reducing plastic waste is, while commendable, not nearly enough to make a true impact in the fight against rising temperatures. A growing number of hotels are rising up to the challenge of running a sustainable business. Beyond plastic usage, general waste production, food waste, usage of local produce, energy and water consumption and many other factors are to be considered for operators that are serious about their claim.